All right, good morning, traders. Today is October 24th, 2024. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Alan, Brad, everybody that's in the room here. Appreciate it, love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in digital land. Thank you for being a part of my journey. All right, so my SPY pivot this morning doesn't remain. It's at 578. Okay, above it, I'm a bull, below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab Five still in daily uptrends. Okay, SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute uptrend. IWM diamond down, made lower highs, lower lows, closing under their bearish traps and under their 17 EMAs. SPY, QQQ, and FNGU made lower highs and lower lows, just like the other two. Closing over their They didn't close over. I think they closed either in or under their bullish traps, but over their 17. Under their bullish traps, but over their 17 EMAs. Gold and silver made lower highs and lower lows, closing inside their bullish traps over the 17 EMAs. UNG in an uptrend made a higher low and a higher high, closing above a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. USO in a downtrend made a lower low and a lower high, closing over a bearish trap and over the 17 EMA. US dollar index in an uptrend closed near the 104.44 area. It's looking like it's possibly turning around finally. It's done enough damage already, but it's finally turning around. All right, let's go take a look at some charts, all right? I'm just going to say good morning to everybody here in the room. All right, and who we got? Good morning, JW, Fido, Chip, Alan, Bobby, Bob T, Lenny G, Alan, John Fox, Rod May, and Brad. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Love it. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a look at SPY. SPY's first target today is, all right, all-time high anchored VWAP at 581.80. Okay, I plant my anchored VWAP right off here. It's the all-time high. And you can see price action is kind of magnetically being pulled up to that line right there. Okay, that's 581.80, roughly thereabouts. Okay, so from there, we'll see what it does. If it climbs on top and consolidates, that's a beautiful thing. We could be going back up to 585. If we spike it and then consolidate under it, that's a possibility as well. The other possibility is we hit it and we come back and test 578 one more time before ripping up through. We'll see what happens. They may do a $3 dip after hitting that area. We'll see what happens this morning. All right, so on the 10-minute chart, okay, you can see we got a 10-minute uptrend going into the close. In the pre-market, post-market, we have a 10-minute uptrend still happening currently. On the 2-hour chart, okay, on the 2-hour chart, we have a 2-hour downtrend going into the close. In the pre-market, post-market, we have a 2-hour uptrend or a 2-hour cross. All right, so we have a bullish cross happening in the pre-market, post-market. All right, so let's take a look at the daily chart. Yesterday's price action. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing under the bullish trap. Okay, but over the 17 EMA. Bullish trap is this 3 EMA right here. It's the thin yellow line. 8 EMA. All right, so both of those represent a bullish trap. When the yellow one is on top of the white one, that's the faster moving average over the slower moving average. Okay, that would be a bullish trap. If the faster one is under the slower moving average, it's a bearish trap. So we got a bullish trap right here, closing underneath the bullish trap, but over the rising 17, and that's these green dots right through here. Okay, so we're over the 17, but under the bullish trap. Currently, okay, we're trying to get back into the bullish trap area right up here, and we're still over the 17. All right, so here is a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line, the top pink line anyways. You can see price action came down, tagged it, and now is heading back up towards the highs. All right, so it's a possibility at the end of the day we might wind up right around 585. We'll see what we do. Okay, so there's SPY on the daily chart. All right, still in an uptrend, still bullish, higher lows, higher highs over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. All right, so we got money flowing in to the SPY because we have an uptrend over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP, and price is over that in an uptrend. So there's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. Okay, QQQ doing the same deal here. Okay, see? Lower high, lower low, closing underneath the trap over the rising 17 EMA. Price action over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's right there. Okay, making higher highs and higher lows. You get an uptrend when price is over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, and that's money flowing into the QQQ. Okay, let's take a look at FNGU. Same deal here. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing, see, under the trap, but over the rising 17 EMA. That's the green dots. Price action up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. All right, we have an uptrend, so money is flowing into the FNGU. All right, so there's FNGU, QQQ, all making higher highs and higher lows, still bullish, still in daily uptrends. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the rising 17 EMA. Also under prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, not a good sign. Not quite as strong as QQQ, FNGU, and SPY. All right, so Diamond Dow a little bit weaker than those. All right, so if I was going to play pairs, I would short the Diamond Dow and go long the SPY or the FNGU or the QQQ. One of those two. One of those three. All right, so there's Diamond Dow if I was going to play pairs. All right, so there's Diamond Dow. Still bullish, hasn't made a lower low. All right, but doesn't appear to be as strong as the other three. All right, so there's Diamond Dow, still in an uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. If they break this low here, they'll be in a downtrend. Right now, they're still in an uptrend, and they're still bullish. They're just retracing quite a bit of that area up above. So here's from the low up to the high. You can see they're well under the 50-yard line right there. Now, they can recover this. They may recover this today. We'll see what happens. But there's Diamond Dow, still bullish, still in an uptrend. All right? It's not as bullish as the others because the others are up over their midpoint. All right, let's take a look at IWM. Same deal on IWM. Okay, from the low to the high, if we put the quad lines in. Let's try it again. One more time. Okay, you can see IWM well below the midpoint. That's the dash line right here. Okay, price action, lower high, lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap and underneath the 17 EMA. Still over the 2024 high anchored VWAP. It's still bullish, still in an uptrend, just not acting bullish at this time. All right, they could recover this today. We'll see what happens. Remember, price action came down. If you look at these candles, you have to be a student of candles. Okay, on this one, notice the candle has, you combine the wick and the body, looks a little bit greater than the tail. All right, that would be bearish. And it's red too. All right, so that makes it kind of bearish. Now we go back to Diamond Dow. All right, see how the body and the wick really, I mean, just encompass all of whatever that tail is right there. Okay, so that's a bearish, that would be a bearish candle right there. Okay, see this candle here? Got a whole lot more tail than body and wick. That's bullish. All right? And you got more tail than you got body and wick. The bulls own that candle. The bears own this one. See, they closed it down here. All right, so this IWM. IWM, again, still in an uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows, up over, like I said, that 2024 2.5, 3-year high anchored VWAP right there. So price action still bullish. All right, just not moving up right now. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. T2122, we spent the day yesterday in the sell zone, knocking on the door of the oversold zone. We got in there, we had some biscuits and coffee, or biscuits and tea, and then we got tossed out and we found ourselves back in the sell zone. All right, so like to find ourselves back at the midpoint, being since we're right back there at near the all-time high anchored VWAP. I would expect some higher highs and higher lows sometime today in T2122. T2123, you can see nothing but selling. Okay, you got a gap down that was not filled by the bulls, gap down that was not filled by the bulls. Okay, nothing but selling from the beginning of the day all the way into 2:30. Notice at 2:30, you know, somebody brought in the new game plan and everybody started to buy it up. Okay, 2:30, and then they started to buy it up, and you can see here's price action ratcheting up back towards support or resistance up here. Okay, so there's T2123 15-minute chart. Price action got below this rising 200 SMA. Okay, I think they can recover that today. We'll see if they can do it. All right, so we've had 1, 2, 3 pullback days. Maybe that's enough, and then they start moving back up again. We'll see what happens. This is T2123. That's the 15-minute chart. That's still bullish. These are prior all-time highs. Look how much higher they got than those prior all-time highs. It's huge. Nice measured move all the way up to the top. Almost probably even a triple on that measured move instead of just a double. But anyways, here's the 3-bar chart. Rising 200 SMA coming up through prior all-time highs right here. All of these lines represent prior all-time highs. Yesterday's price action put in three red candle bars. Okay, so look, we've gone up quite a bit. All right, it's time for the bulls to rest. They need a rest sometimes so they can recover some energy. All right, pick up some spinach and then start to move higher. All right, now moving higher is going to be even more and more difficult the higher we get there. Okay, it's going to be harder and harder to convince retail traders and investors to pay higher premiums, unless of course they see earnings. And guess what? We're going right into earnings season right now. So they're going to want to see earnings in order to support those higher multiples that these prices are going to get. So here we got price action for T2123. Okay, it's just having a little pullback right here. It's a rest. So there's a 3-day rest, maybe one more day rest. We'll see what happens. But still bullish here. Remember, just this day right here, not this one. This was an all-time high right here on the 21st. Just 2 days ago was the all-time high. Okay, having a couple days rest is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. Actually, a pullback to minor support would be nice. Even better would be an ace bull flag flagging out to the right over here. We'll see what happens. All right, FNGU did some selling yesterday. You can see selling from the beginning to the end. They found themselves underneath the rising 200, just like on T2123. But here we are in the pre-market, and we find ourselves back up at the 200 SMA. So looking like a spike of the 200 SMA. Maybe they can find themselves back up here. So they're going through a consolidation pattern, which kind of moves like, it's kind of moving up and then moving back. See our lines. Here's